This is a true story that takes place in Portmore, a Jamaican suburbia, right next to Kingston. It was a typical night, hot and humid, but comfortable enough to sleep. I was weary from walking around all day while listening to my newly acquired pirated music, so I finally decided to return to my home. It was a typical Jamaican home, all the windows covered with iron bars, all the main doors protected by a metal grill, basically a metal grid to prevent intrusion, with 2 locks on it, ultimately a mini prison. I being the only child, 14 at the time, I'm responsible for making sure all the locks are locked. This take all my energy doing so. Finally, I'm finished, so I throw myself at the couch in the living room. The news was on. More cases of breaking and entering are being reported in the Portmore area. As usual, I sarcastically said to myself. My mind began to wander off as the voice of the reporter on the TV quickly fades into a static background noise. My eyes are now fixated on the ceiling, and my eyelids are slowly closing words. I am extremely hot, my heart is racing, and I am very confused because somehow I'm on my mother's bed. I look to my right where the bay window, the only window without a metal grill because the balcony outside of it is fully secured with its own grill, was situated at. And suddenly a cold feeling rushed my body, and I became extremely disoriented. A strong wind blew through the window, widening it apart, which was very strange. Outside of the window was pitch black, and this attracted my attention, due to the fact that the balcony is usually well lit. It began to get darker and darker by the second. The morbid darkness seemed to have hypnotized me. In fact, I was paralyzed by it. My body was numb and frozen. In the darkness, I noticed something even more bizarre. I could see the outline of a cap slowly rising from below the window. I was stunned with fear and bewilderment because someone is at my window. The cap rose higher, and now I can see a portrait of a man, but he had no body. It was like the shadow of a man wearing a hat. Unexpectedly, I saw 2 red eyes sluggishly turn over in the head of the shadow figure. They were blood red and dripping with blood. The eyes were piercing into my soul. The shadow then proceeded to display the creepiest smile I have ever seen. Its teeth were white, almost as if they were shining, and the grin took up half of his face. At this point, I began to scream, but my lips did not budge to open, being that my body's paralyzed. I tried to look away, I tried to close my eyes, but not even that my fear-ridden body will permit. The shadow began to crawl through the window. With each inch it takes, the blood from his eyes dripped on the window, then rolled onto the carpet. Its coming for me was my only thought. My heart was pounding so hard it echoed in the room. The echoes became louder until it turned into a brash scream. It was my mother's. All of a sudden, I'm no longer frozen, so I jumped out of the bed and threw a nearby standing fan at the shadow figure by the window. I turned around to see my mom on the other side of the bed, hysterically screaming at the window. She started yelling out, "Thief! Thief!" Yeah. I looked back at the bay window. The shadow figure was gone, and the light on the balcony abruptly reappeared. Then I heard footsteps scurrying away